What is up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for clicking on this old mug. Allow me to use my outdoor experiences to better here. Today is August 1st. Probably not by the time I post this video. That means that in 1 month, one good old short month, it is dove opening day here in the great old state of Texas. Probably one of my favorite days here in the state of Texas, and I cannot wait. I've already got a trip scheduled to South Texas on the 2nd. On the 1st, I will be in Central Texas, probably somewhere in the Carmine area. And then I'm just zooming over to South Texas, so you guys are not gonna wanna miss that. I'm gonna get the shot cam, put it on this bad boy to get you guys some quality footage of some good old delicious old birdies. All of which will be on public land. I can't stress enough how much public land there is, especially for dove hunting here in Texas. There's so much, and in my opinion, it's probably one of the best ways to get the little kiddos involved. I'm probably not gonna get old shorty involved just yet. She just turned 6 last week. So we'll probably give it another year or two before we get her out in the field doing some dove hunting, but it is one of the best ways, in my opinion, to get the kiddos started in hunting. And really fun just for me. I love dove hunting. By far the best hunting, my favorite hunting. So I've got a bunch of those videos coming up, so you're gonna wanna hit that subscribe button. We're still working on the boat, and we're always gonna be wetting some lines. If you guys like these kind of videos, give it a thumbs up. Hit me up in the comments. I know I'm not thorough on a lot of my stuff. I run through a bunch of this stuff real quick, so if you guys have any questions, hit me up. You take the time to write it, I'll take the time to read it. Let's get right into this bad boy. First and foremost, let's make sure it's unloaded. As you guys can see, I've got the bolt to the back. There's nothing in there. You can see the orange stopper in there. So we are good to go. Now, what we are doing today, first of all, here's my shotty. This is the Stoeger M3000 in the Realtree Max 5 pattern with the Cerakote receiver and barrel. I am a sucker for this Cerakote, man. I just love this color and the finish. Most of my rifles in this, I've got a pistol and I've got all sorts of stuff in this stuff. I love it. And yeah, I got it last year, put it through a season with no issues. I shot some light dove loads, and then I also shot some heavy turkey loads with no issues. So I can't complain. Only been 1 season, and yeah, it's been pretty good to me. No complaints. Now I figured, let's get this little bad boy spruced up a little bit, wipe it down, but also change some stuff, man. So we are going to be replacing the bolt handle, bolt release button, and these trigger safety. All for oversized handle, oversized bolt release, and oversized trigger safety. All from MOA Precision. I'll have all the links to this stuff in the description below. If you guys have any questions, again, just hit me up in the comments. So what we're working with today, here's the bolt handle that we will be replacing with. Nothing wrong with this one. You know, it's a little small. I've got big old fingers. This one I thought just looked cool. I mean, these pieces are pretty relatively cheap, so it's not a whole lot to change some of this stuff. The bolt release button is slightly bigger. This guy I'm excited for. I think this is gonna be good right here. Yeah, that one has MOA Precision on it. They come in different colors. I got black. And then last but not least, the trigger safety. So that one is significantly larger. And again, all from MOA Precision. This is the safety, the bolt handle, and then the bolt release. I just want to preface, I am not a gunsmith. I know some stuff about guns, but I have also completely ruined a couple guns trying to do this stuff. So this is just more entertainment. I hope it helps you guys some, but this is by no means an instructional video on how to do this. I just kind of wanted to show you guys the upgrades to it and how it looks before and how it looks after, because some of this stuff is pretty tedious. Like I said, I've ruined a couple guns trying to get in here and just a spring goes doing. Make sure y'all look at y'all's owner's manual. Tried my best research. I think I can do this. Like I said, I have messed with a couple guns and rifles, torn them apart. So I have a little experience, but I'm by no means a gunsmith. On that note, let's tear this bad boy up and hopefully not lose any parts, and hopefully still have a functioning shotgun by the time we finish. A couple tools that I will be using, nothing crazy. A couple little punches and a very small hammer. Depending on the size on your firearm, it will vary. And then a small Allen key. This one came with one. I'm just fancy and got my own. And that's really it, guys. Not much. Just really be careful taking everything apart super slowly, being mindful of what you're removing. Make sure nothing kind of springs out, and just hold stuff compact. This thing is full of springs and levers that will just bust out. So just be mindful of that, guys, when y'all are messing with any firearm. They all work off of just springs and actions like that. So yeah, let's rip this bad boy apart. Obviously, let's just double check. We are unloaded, nothing in there. You guys see the orange stopper in there. No bullets in here, we're good to go. First things first, let's take this magazine off. Bam, I do public hunting. You guys are gonna need one of these. And sucker just comes right off. There we go. We'll put that bad boy to the side. We'll be needing that for much. Take the bolts off. You have to take this bad boy. I've heard this sucker's pretty hard to take off. Yeah, that is. Ow. There's a easy way to do this with a shoelace, but you know me. Brute force. Got that bad boy out. Slowly eject this. With almost all things in firearms, everything is spring loaded. Put that to the side. Not gonna be messing with that. And there we have it. I'm not gonna take the stock off, there's really no need. But there she is. So let's look at the first piece we're changing out. So you can see a slight difference. It does stick out more and there's a wider profile. I'm excited. So that will come on when we are kind of assembling it back together. Let's put this to the side. Now, we will start with the bolt release, which is right here. Now, before we do anything, we've got to take the trigger assembly out of here, and then we'll start working on the bolt release. And to do that, simple, one little pin here. It's bigger on this side, so you're gonna pop it out from this side. And again, I've got this handy dandy little guy. Be able to push this, put that right there. We've got our pin. Hammer time. Bam. Push that all the way through. Fell out. There's that bad boy. We'll leave it there. Don't lose it. And you just pull your trigger assembly out, push down your bolt release, and that sucker should just come right out. And there is our trigger assembly. Now, before I do anything, I'm gonna release this firing pin. I'm gonna fire it just so there's no tension on there. We don't want anything springing out. So we are gonna change the safety on this bad boy here in a second. We'll put this to the side for now. Let's worry about this bolt release. Now, to take out this bolt release, it is a little pin here. Now, the thing with this is that this pin is going through a cotter pin, and it's almost impossible for you guys to see. But there's a cotter pin there, so the key thing is don't let that cotter pin pop out. But yeah, just ram that through, and while you're ramming it through, hold this lever piece, which is what holds the button in place. Hold that down, because it is spring loaded. So anytime you remove, as soon as you remove this pin, that thing, a spring's gonna want to come out. So I'm gonna hold that down, which makes it a little hard on some of these. There we go. That's the money. All the way through. There's our pin. You can see it's got a little indention on there for the cotter to catch. And now my punch is what's holding it in place. I'm gonna slowly pull it out. There is the tension from the spring. Cotter pin still in there? Yes, cotter pin is still in there. And then slowly remove this bad boy. And there is our bolt release. So let us put this bad boy to the side for now. Here is our bolt release. Looks like we have another pin here, so we're gonna knock that out. And again, another spring. So guys, just be careful with these springs. So this is spring loaded. There's a spring underneath here. As soon as I pop this pin out, this is gonna wanna go flying. So keep that in mind, and let's pop this pin out. Sweet. Hold that spring in place. And bam, here's our new piece. So let's take off this bad boy. And we're just gonna wanna put this in there. And then line them up. A little tough holding that spring in place while lining it up. My pin fell in here. This thing is super handy. There really isn't a perfect way to do this. That's out the way. You know, it probably helps if I had a light. Hello. So let me try to give it a couple taps. There we go. It went on one side. The other side is a lot easier. There we go. There we go. I just want to make sure it's evenly spaced, protruding out of both sides kind of evenly there. And that's it. Our new bolt release will screw to that little bad boy. And so let's put this sucker back in, and then we'll work on that safety. And so it comes in the same way it came out. Make sure our cotter pin is there. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we're gonna pop this bad boy in there, just like that, and then pop our pin back in there. And just like that, folks, easy peasy. a lemon squeezy. There's our hole. Again, this has the indention. The indention part goes up to catch that cotter pin that's up there. Okay, so we got through the first one, but now this is a little crooked, to try to get into the second one is gonna be a little tough here. This is where I could use an extra pair of hands. You know what, let's try just without the hammer. Dang, tough. Yuck. Kind of scratch it up there. There we go. Cool. Dang. Scratch it up there a bit. So I got it nice and flush there, and our bolt release is done. We just got to screw the actual bolt release on there. Give it a nice little tight. There we go. It's nice and straight. Bam. Sweet. There is our new bolt release. Looks cool. Oh yeah, that's comfy. Can't wait to put it back together and check it out. Bolt release is done. Now it's fairly simple. Scuffed up my shiny bit, but it's all right, it's all right. Now, the trigger safety. Now these I do a little hesitant on messing with this trigger, but we will give it a go. Now my understanding is what is holding the trigger is a little pin in here. It's a pin and a spring in here. So we gotta pull out this pin, which will release that spring and then allow us to pull that out. So let's do that exactly. Got our pin there. There we go, that came out. Right now, I'm holding a spring in place in here. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to make it out, but there's a spring underneath my punch right now. As soon as I pull it out, that thing's gonna come flying out. So be careful when removing this, you'll hear it. There's our spring. So again, if I would move that punch out without putting my finger here, that sucker would have flown out. So now I am able to pull out my safety. And there is the old one compared to the new one. So let's put in the new one, just like that there. That's how that bad boy looks. Not too shabby, it's got nice red on that. And then reverse the process. Now we've got to squeeze that bad boy down and then drive a pin through here. Well, that sucker squeezed down, so that's gonna be a little tough to do. What I'm going to do is push it down with that bad boy. There we go, cool. So I pushed it down with something else, ran my punch through there, and it's holding it in place. So now I'm going to try to replace my punch slowly and carefully with the actual pin. Holy. So it's got it halfway on there. There we go. There we go, that wasn't too bad. I just kind of pushed down that spring with this bad boy and it stayed in place. And then drive the pin back in, make sure it's nice and flush on both sides. And there's our new safety. Pretty cool, oversized. So we got the safety in here. We're gonna go ahead and kind of test it here before we assemble it. We'll do a full test once we get assembled. Give it a cock back. It's on there. Safety on, right there. Nothing happens. Take the safety off. Bam, we shoot. So we're gonna go ahead and cock it back to reassemble it, put the safety on. And there you have it, guys. We got ourselves a nice oversized trigger safety. It looks pretty sweet. So let's get this bad boy reassembled. And we are just doing everything in reverse. Push this bad boy in, push down our new bolt release, and there's our holes lining up. Make sure they line up nice and pretty. There we go. And then this is our trigger pin. They didn't line up too well. There we go. There we go. Trigger pin's in there. And she's looking nice, guys. Nice, nice. Now let's put the bolt back in here with our spring. Looking nice, looking nice. Now let's put our new bolt handle on there. This should just kind of punch in there. There we go. Look at that, man, this thing's coming along. Now last but not least, there we go. Put this bad boy back in there, our end cap. And we, ladies and gentlemen, got ourselves basically a new shotty. Man, that looks cool. That is sick. So, quick function test. Pull the barrel back, release the bolt, try with the safety on. You shouldn't be able to fire. Safety off, you should fire. Bang. Now, With that, holding down the trigger, you cock it back, release the bolt again, and you should hear a click when you let that go, and you should be able to fire. Bam. We are rolling. There she is, folks, Stoeger M3000 with a couple little upgrades. Well guys, that is gonna do it for this video. Sweet and short, just wanna do a couple little upgrades on the shotty before we start putting it in the field. I've still gotta get this bad boy patterned, so I've got a range day coming up real quick. Get my rifles all sighted in, make sure we are ready to go for this season. As always guys, if you guys are liking this kind of content, hit that subscribe button. I've got a bunch more firearm stuff to do, upgrades on the firearms, upgrades on the boat, a bunch of technical stuff. I love doing this kind of stuff. And as always, we're gonna be out getting some lines wet, getting in the field, putting these bad boys to work, filling up that freezer. So you guys are not gonna wanna miss that. And yeah, I will keep this sweet and short. On that note, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I can't wait to see you guys next time.